Hello there guys, it's Ebird Online and I'm here with another review from Before the 90 Days. And this is Season 4, Episode 7, Who's Crying Now? And today we're going to cover Stephanie and Erika and Lisa and Usman. I just want to remind you to press that red subscribe button and press the notification bell to make sure you don't miss any videos. And also join me over on Twitter at Ebird99. So first up today we're going to talk about Stephanie and Erika. So we meet up with Stephanie and Erika in the hotel room and the girls are off on a date. And according to Stephanie, Erika respects her decision not to have sex right away. I was worried because of my online persona that she would think I was more sexual than I am. Well then Stephanie, maybe you should have put her straight. No pun intended. Pun totally intended. So at this point I thought, well, let's have a look at some of her titles, shall we, for her videos. I had sex with my ex-boyfriend, sex with Donald Trump, the sex talk, he broke up with me to have sex with other women, drunk and naked in St. Martin, getting naked on my live show. So basically Stephanie, if Erika does think you're a sex fiend, that's what you've purported yourself to be, and you should have explained to her that you weren't before you even came to Australia. And so the girls are getting ready and they're going to some sort of date. Who knows where it's going to be? Who knows what it's going to be? The E-Bird knows what it's going to be. It's going to be boring because it involves Stephanie and Erika. But we continue. And then Stephanie continues, we're really getting to know each other. It's starting to feel like we can spend the rest of our lives together. Really? After 2 days? You have no sexual chemistry. You just giggle. Ladies, I don't see it. I really don't. And they enter what looks like a nursery for grown-up. It basically looks like Erika's dream home. And the owner of the store explains what they're going to be doing that day. We're going to be making moulds of our most personal area. What? Is it? Oh. Is it safe to put plaster of Paris in there? That seems like it might, I don't know, sting or something. I don't think it is safe. I don't think it is. Oh right, moulds of our boobs, I see. And then she continued, are you all comfortable with getting your boobs out? And Stephanie, well, she looked very uncomfortable. So basically guys, what they were doing is getting half naked and putting plaster of Paris and gauze over their boobs, waiting for it to set, taking it off and then painting it. And then I guess it's a cast of your boobs. How exciting. But Erika seems to be really enjoying it. And she says, I think it's going to be the perfect date for Stephanie, as online Stephanie presents herself as someone who would love this. And just like we were talking about the order of words a couple of videos ago with Lisa and Usman, I'm looking at the order of words again in Erika's sentence. She says, I think this is going to be the perfect date for Stephanie, as online Stephanie presents herself as someone who would love this. That tells me that you know already that who Stephanie presents herself to be online is perhaps somebody who Stephanie isn't in real life. So why go ahead with such a potentially controversial date? And so they're all told to take off their tops and start putting the strips of gauze in water and putting it on your partner. And Stephanie says, we have to do it to each other. I feel like this is a really strange idea. I don't know what she's trying to communicate to me. Oh, lighten up, you're such a killjoy. She's not trying to communicate anything. She's just trying to have some light-hearted fun. And she doesn't like the fact that there are 2 other girls there. And she says, I'd feel slightly more comfortable if this was just one-on-one. Right, Stephanie, like your Patreon account. So I don't know what you guys think about this. I wouldn't necessarily like to do it if somebody else was there, but I've got quite big boobs and I never get them out. I would never go topless or something like that. But I think it's fair to say that my friends know me to be a little bit of a prude, so I think most of my friends would be absolutely fine doing it. And let's face fact, Stephanie does get naked all the time on her Patreon account. And I know, speaking personally, there have been so many times when you're in a nightclub toilet and somebody's like, I've just had my boobs done. And whether you know the girl or not, people say, oh, let me have a look. Oh, can I touch it? Because it looks different. It looks kind of harder and just different. And so I don't think it's really that alien a concept. I think other girls have touched Stephanie's boobs before. I really do. And so to back up my theory, I go once again to her YouTube channel. And I find that she indeed has had boob jobs, and she quite often does videos literally with her boobs out. And I think it's case closed. Stephanie just likes to moan. That's it. If she doesn't have something to moan about, Stephanie's not happy. Then talk turns to moving in together, and Stephanie says she doesn't see it working out long distance for a long time. And in order for it to work, they need to be together in the same city. But Erika's somewhat surprised about this, and she says that she's got weddings booked and Stephanie can't just expect her to uproot her entire life and move to New York. And Stephanie says, well, this is what we've discussed. But Stephanie, can't you see what's happening right in front of your face? You're such a wet blanket and a killjoy and a misery gut that Erika's having second thoughts about moving to New York. And so Stephanie looks quite unhappy that Erika's not prepared to just pack a case and go. But Erika says, it's very early, it's day 2. We haven't even been intimate yet, and we're talking about me moving to New York. And the truth be told, she's pretty strong with that argument. So next time we see Stephanie and Erika, Stephanie tells us all, I am taking Erika out. And then Stephanie also says to Erika, I've bought you a present. And Erika says, oh really, what is it? And she presents to her a tiara. And Erika puts it on, and for what it's worth, I think it certainly doesn't suit her. I think Erika's flex is quite semi-alternative, quite punky, quite fun. And this looks quite classic and just a little bit middle of the road. And I'm like, I wonder what Erika thinks really to this tiara. So they go to a restaurant, and Stephanie says it's the most romantic restaurant in all of Adelaide. And I was looking at it thinking, I don't really think it looks all that. But then I took the opportunity to check it out on TripAdvisor. And the shots that we see on screen here don't do it justice. It looks great. And it looks like a place for the Ebird. Steak, steak and more steak. And Stephanie started boring on again to Erika about, based on my social media, people think that I'm a lot more sexual than I am. Really what you should be saying, Stephanie, is, I purport myself to be a little hoe bag for money. That's fine, girl. Go get your coin. Go get your coin. And Erika said, yeah, to be honest, I thought you were going to be a little bit different. But I'm here to reassure you that my feelings for you are very strong. It's funny she should say that, because the Ebird's feelings for Stephanie are very strong too. And Stephanie said, thanks, that means a lot. And then she said, there's been something bothering me, and I have to ask you, Erika, why have you got a dating app installed on your phone? Are you speaking to anyone else? And Erika said no. And she said, have you been speaking with anyone else in the last 4 months since we kind of got together online? No, I haven't. Well then why do you still have the app? Well, there's 2 sides to the app. So one side is like dating, but the other side is business and networking. So I just use that side of the app, which to me is a perfect explanation. There's no more explanation needed. That's it. But Stephanie, well, she goes cray-cray. And she said, would you consider deleting the app? So then Erika does her best passive-aggressive. And she sulkily deletes it and says, yeah, okay, but only because you asked me to. And Stephanie said, well, it makes me, just a little uncomfortable. And Erika shouted at her, everything makes you uncomfortable. Literally, everything makes you uncomfortable. You demanded I delete it, so I deleted it. And so Stephanie started crying. And I always knew this about Stephanie. Poor misunderstood Stephanie would resort to crying in a hot second. You actually don't understand me at all. And I thought you understood me, and you don't. And I'm just so misunderstood. Stephanie, I understand you very well. The only thing that surprises me is that it's taken us about 3 or 4 episodes of seeing you before you turn on the waterworks. And then Erika said, just because you buy me presents doesn't mean that you're going to control me. And she took off the tiara that I'm certain she never wanted to put on in the first place, and that I'm certain she didn't like. And Stephanie said, this date is over. F off, just go. And Erika took off down the street. Back in the restaurant, Stephanie cried some more, and she tells us she wants to go home. So guys, let me know what you think. Do you think that Stephanie is manipulative? I certainly do. I knew she'd resort to crying, and she did it at the very first opportunity. And also she says, people always misunderstand me because of my online persona. If that's what you purport yourself to be, Stephanie, that's what people are going to understand you are. I purport myself to be an acid-tongued, opinionated super bitch. But in actuality, I'm amenable, tolerant, and non-judgmental. But if people mistake me for the former, then that's on me. And also possibly correct. And guys, the only thing that surprised me about Stephanie's tears was that it took, I think, about 4 episodes for them to be displayed. So I find Stephanie to be a rather duplicitous character. She wants us to feel sorry for her, that she's so misjudged, and that she's not sexual. I won't, Stephanie, because that's the way that you've put yourself across. She's very, very difficult to be around, and she's even more difficult to watch. Her whole YouTube feed is filled with boobs and sex stories, and so don't side-eye Erika when she takes you to what she thinks is a fun date. Also, even at the date that Stephanie took Erika to, she was like, well, it's not a fun date, but it's just a meal. She manages to suck any fun and any life out of a situation. And also she was wrong as could be asking Erika to delete the dating app. She asked her what it was for. She told her business and networking, and obviously we know she's a photographer, so she probably needs to get her own gigs. So that's the end of the story as far as I'm concerned. Stephanie, you are dead wrong asking, will you delete it? But by the same token, Erika, I find you to be semi-gaslighting because you deleted it, you didn't want to delete it, And then you moaned about it. And you also said, Stephanie, you demanded I deleted it, so I deleted it. And you know very well that Stephanie asked you, and you complied immediately, yet moodily. If you didn't want to do it, you should have said, no, I won't do it for these reasons. If you want to have a look at the app, you're very welcome to, but this is my income stream. I don't ask you to stop wreathing around naked on beds on Patreon, so please don't ask me to stop networking. And she doubled down with that by saying, buying me presents doesn't mean you get to control me. And I don't think that the presents that Stephanie have bought have been as a means of control. I just think that Stephanie's got lots of money and she's quite generous. She doesn't mind spending it. So guys, let me know what you think on these two issues. And next up, we're going to talk about Lisa and Usman. So Lisa's in the chalet and she's upset that Usman has disappeared for 30 minutes. And she angrily tells us he said he was going to walk his friend to the car and now he's missing in action. And she has a face like thunder. And Lisa's face isn't the greatest at the best of times, but when it's like thunder, whew, it really is something. And when Usman returns, Lisa says, we need to talk. And she said, you promised never to leave me alone, and now you've left me alone. Usman, I can promise you, as God is my witness, I freaked the freak out. I was terrified. Oh, Lisa, so was Usman when he saw the state of you at the airport. Sometimes you just have to take things in your stride. And even though Lisa's trying to put it on that she was so worried and so scared and she opened the door and she didn't know what to think because she couldn't see him, Lisa wasn't afraid. If people are afraid of what's outside, they don't tend to open their front door. Lisa just couldn't believe the temerity of her servant boy to take unrequested leave. That's why Lisa was angry. And Lisa's standing over him, looking like a sack of crap, pointing her finger and just being super aggressive. But finally, the worm has turned. Usman flips the script. And he tells her, you knew where I was going, I told you what I was going to do, and that's all I did. But then Lisa says, stop shouting, your voice is going up. And ladies and gentlemen, in that moment, Lisa lived right down to my expectations because she has sworn at him, she's been rude to his friends calling them idiots, she's cut a eye at everybody that she's seen, she's basically acted like an entitled brat. And the only thing I like less than an entitled brat is an entitled brat that has no entitlement to be a brat. Lisa, you look like a sack of crap. And so what does she do? Lisa turns to gaslighting. Oh, it's so boring. We all know what you're doing. And it's yet another thing you're not proficient at, Lisa, alongside diplomacy, decency and decorum. But Usman wasn't having any of this, you're shouting at me, you're being aggressive from Lisa. He said, listen, Lisa, very firmly, but not aggressively. And he said, it's not good for me to be saying sorry to you morning, noon and night. You are not a god. How can I be wrong all the time? This cannot be possible. And Lisa fired back, yeah, well, you're not always right. And Usman said, no, you always make me wrong. No matter what the situation, I'm in the wrong and I'm apologising. And that is just not possible. Yesterday we had a problem. Today we have a problem. And I guarantee you tomorrow we'll also have a problem. I cannot live like this. I cannot live in a prison. And this is how you are when you're in Nigeria. What happens when I'm in America with no brothers and no friends and no family and support system? How are you going to behave then? And guys, I think we know the answer to that. If this is how you want our relationship to be, you go your way and I'll go mine. And then he stormed out and he told producers, if this is how we're going to continue, then we just shouldn't get married. And I'm glad that he's finally told Lisa what's what. She's so entitled and walking around thinking, you're lucky to have the shot at marrying me, that she hasn't considered at all that Usman can find another you with ease. But Lisa stays in the room and she looks crestfallen and she says, this is not the man that I fell in love with and this is not the man I met online. Maybe, maybe not, but Usman's big problem is that Lisa is exactly who he met online. So for my subscribers, let me know what you think. Do you think that Usman was finally right to flip the switch on Lisa? I think he was, but I just don't think that he went too far. I don't think he's got it into her thick skull exactly the scenario as yet. Here's what I think Usman should have said. He should have said, Lisa, your body looks like a sack of potatoes. You have a foul mouth with a vulgar turn of phrase. Lisa, you've got a face that makes people want to dress up as you at Halloween. Lisa, your birth certificate is an apology from the condom factory. Lisa, in short, you're no catch. I could have another you in a minute. You are now and will continue to be utterly replaceable. And sometimes that's what's needed to stamp authority on the relationship and let the natural order reign. Can you live under a regime where somebody's mistakenly thinking, I've got the upper hand, I've got the golden ticket, and Lisa, you're an idiot because you've overplayed your hand? All of this treatment and all of this that you're doing now means that when Usman gets to America, nobody's going to blame him when he no doubt cheats on you. So guys, let me know what you think in comments. Tell me what you would have told Lisa if you were Usman. And really at this point, I do feel slightly sorry for Usman. Obviously everybody knows he's trying to get to America for the green card, but he really picked the wrong one with Lisa. And if I look at Usman in terms of talent and so on, really with very little, he's made quite a lot. His videos are doing really well on YouTube, and if you compare what he's done with this opportunity compared to what Blake did, he's definitely got some hustle. If life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. But what do you do if life gives you dog shit? So let me know down below, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I'm just going to say thank you to everyone that's subscribed so far. Please don't forget to hit that red button. And I hope you all enjoy your Good Friday. You've been listening to Ebird Online. Ciao for now.